Come on in.
All day I rush around, but I'm still on the ground, on the ground.
I got my tea, my little cardinal.
I'll soon be fluttering if I can find my wings, find my wings. Impatiently I want to fly today,
Come on in.
but I hear a gentle voice inside me say that slow and steady steps will be my pace. Slow and steady steps will win this race. It will take some time, but the victory will be mine. Slow and steady, I'm gonna learn to fly. I'm starting to believe I only race with me, only me. I can't give to someone else this journey for myself. It's for myself. Since my best is all I have, it is enough. I can see a ray of hope. I've got to trust.
Slow and steady.
That slow and steady steps will be my pace. Slow and steady steps will win this race. It will
Somebody
take
noticed,
some
you get
time,
points.
but the victory will be mine. Slow and steady, I'm gonna learn to fly, and I will soar. I will reach the sky, a little at a time. I'm reaching, I keep believing that slow and steady steps will be my pace. Slow and steady steps will win this race. It will take some time, but the victory will be mine. Slow and steady, I'm gonna learn to fly. Slow and steady, I'm gonna learn to
Hey, everybody. Somebody's saying it's a puzzle. I put a butterfly. It's anti-procrastination day, y'all. And so I got this blue butterfly right there for Christmas. From Tammy. And I thought it looked good with my Etsy butterfly that I bought from an artist that I really love. She does watercolors. And so I thought, well, I had this blank hole right there. You know, I got to fill a hole. And so I put it up. I didn't have a hammer in here, so you know what I used to hammer the nail in? Because I had an extra nail over there on the wall. So I used my hairbrush. Bam, I got it done. It's a do it now principle. It took me a minute. A minute. And I turned it crooked because I kind of liked it crooked. But then I might turn it straight and see if I like it better straight. But anyway, it's on the wall. And if you haven't used the Command 3M Velcro wall hanging things, you should try them. They're really good. Most of that stuff on the wall is hung by those. So I thought I'd tell you a story about butterflies today. Yeah, butterflies. When Fly Lady was first drawn, she had butterfly wings. And I had this lady, I'll cry thinking about her because I haven't heard from her in years. And I don't know really where she lives. And I didn't really know her whole name, but her name was Victoria. And Victoria was a survivor of horrid child abuse. And because of that child abuse, she would have disassociative times. When she wasn't Victoria, she was somebody else. And that's how she survived the terrible abuse that she suffered at the hands of her parents. And she was locked in a room upstairs in an attic. Sometimes she was locked in a bathtub for days. I don't know why she chose to tell me all this. But Victoria, when she first started getting her house in order, she drew a representation of Fly Lady. And I never saw a picture of it, but she told me about it. And she would call me on the phone every once in a while. And she talked to Robert. She talked to anybody. But I hadn't heard from her in a lot of years. So she may have gone home to be with the Lord. She was not a healthy person. And with her mental problems and her physical problems, it was just, and she lived alone, and it was just sad. But she loved to dumpster dive, y'all. She would go to the dumpster and she would find something, and she would rescue it. She would just be so sad that somebody had thrown that away. And she would turn the strangest things into furniture. And she would just, it was early on in Fly Lady, and she just didn't, and she would make these things, and then she would give them away to people. And the people in her apartment building thought she was crazy. She may have been. But she still, with what she had, she did what she could to help others. She really did. So when we've all been given talents, y'all. We've all been given a talent. I didn't know what mine was. I didn't know what my talent was. I knew I was good at lots of things. I knew I was good at writing. I was good at bookkeeping. I was good at math. I could, with Leanne's daughter, Caroline, I mentored her when I was in the bathtub and she was having problems with an algebra question. And I helped her. While I was in the bathtub, I couldn't even see what she was doing. I just was talking to her on the phone and I talked her through the problem. I was good at solving puzzles. I was good at just about anything I set my mind to. Just about anything I could do. But I didn't know what all these things were, how they were to become part of who I am, a part of me being Fly Lady. I ran for office in my county. If you've never run for office in your county, now's the time. Now is the time to step up and make a difference right where you live. Whether it's running for school board or register of deeds or county commissioner. I was a county commissioner for 6 years. I served my time. But you can make a difference. I was just listening to a podcast from a sheriff. And sheriffs are the biggest constitutional authority we have in our counties. Yeah, they're sheriffs are mandated in the Constitution with this power. And so if you want to make a difference in your little neck of the woods, now's the time to start thinking about running for mayor or running for city council or running for county commissioner and making a difference, school board, whatever it is. Now is the time. Or run for state office. Yeah, run for your state House of Representatives or state senator. Run for office. Because when I ran for office, I was the only woman running. The only one. And my goal there is the same goal here. It was all about the babies, all about the children. In North Carolina, county commissioners have control over the school board's budget. We actually give them the money. I don't know if it's that way. School boards do not have the funding capabilities in North Carolina. But I learned how to handle a budget, a huge budget. It was, we had like a $30 million budget with a $6 million school board budget. I learned how to go through that process. I learned I already knew parliamentary procedure, but I learned it a little better. I was able to step out of my comfort zone to do something a little different. And it was good. It was all part of my learning process because I had to know these things. I had to know how to fight government because once upon a time, the city council took a piece of property that I had purchased. This is a great story. We had purchased this 5 acres and we were going to build our own little distribution center on it. And we had been looking for 5 acres for a long time, and I got off the county commissioner board in 2004, and my real estate agent came to me, and we had put it on the market. We had this 5 acres, and he came to me with these 5 acres, and the first thing I said to him was, we need to take this to the county right now because I just come off the board. I lost in a primary with 27 votes. I lost by 27 votes, y'all. Primary elections are very important. And I said, Lord, please take it to Artie, our county manager, because we've been looking for a place to build a new jail. He said, nope, not going to take it to him until you buy your 5 acres. And I said, okay. So we got the financing for it. I paid some money down and we had this 5 acres. And it was zoned. And this is where you learn a lot trying to fight City Hall. It was zoned business. It was zoned for business. Industrial zoning. And so it was going to be just right. We were going to need to save our money to be able to build a building, but God had other plans. The city council decided to take our property, which we had paid a mega price for, those 5 acres, to take that property and turn it into mixed use. So it took my value as an industrial site to be able to manufacture things, distribution center, even a satellite uplink, like a TV station. I could do anything I wanted to on that property. They decided to bust it down to where it was only worth like 1/10 of what it was. But God had other plans, y'all. God had other plans. And Justin and I went to the planning board meetings trying to fight it, because the county had bought their acreage. They bought the rest of the acreage. And we went to every meeting, sat there on the front row, and finally one of the city councilmen called me up to the front during a break, and she said, "Marla, all you got to do is when you get ready and you want to build, all you got to do is come and let us approve it." And I said, "That's what I've got right now lets me build whatever I want. And you want me to kiss your ring to ask your permission for something I've already purchased?" Oh, I was not happy. But you know, I ended up selling that acreage. I did. I sold that acreage. And it practically paid for the building we have right now. It did. God had another plan. I'm still in the city, but I didn't have to deal with them in building this. I didn't have to do it. So God blessed me. He blessed all the flybabies. Because we have a building that's almost paid for right now. Almost paid for. Because of our consistency and staying true to who we are. Because I had worked hard to save the money and that we used to buy that property with. I had worked hard saving the money to build the building, just putting a little away each month. And that's how we have to do. And then when they up and wanted to change it, was not good. And I had the church next door come to me. They came to me. We took the land off the market, and the church next door came to me and offered me a nice little profit, and it practically paid for our building. So, folks, God has plans. We don't know what they are. But God blesses us when we walk in faith with Him. And when my real estate agent, Lloyd Fisher, said, "Marla, we're taking the product. We're taking those 5 acres off the market right now. We don't know what it's worth." Sure enough, we didn't. But I listened to him, and Robert says, "Honey, you hire a real estate agent because he's got your best interest in mind. He's got your interest in mind. And you don't bark for him. You don't make the decisions. You let him tell you, let him guide you." And that was a fine man. I loved Lloyd like a brother. He passed away a few years ago. But folks, God has plans for us, each one of us. He has plans for every day of our life. If we will walk in faith with Him daily. Walk in faith with Him daily. Repent of your sins, and we all sin and fall short. But God has plans for us. And He's given us each a talent. And that talent, I was going to tell you about what my purpose on the county commission was, is to save the babies. It was all about saving the babies, saving the children, making sure they got good schools. Because we were in charge of making sure the schools were up to snuff, you know. And clean water. I wanted clean water because I like to fish, and we have more waterfalls per capita than any other place in the country, right here in Transylvania County, North Carolina. And we have some of the most pristine water there ever is. And we always said, one day people will come here for the water. And you know, we've got some breweries here right now. And during the pandemic and during natural disasters, they bottle our water. They bottle our water. So, folks, what are your talents? Are you hiding your talents under a bushel like that song we learned in Sunday school class? Are you hiding your talents under a bushel? Or better yet, are you hiding them under a pile of clutter? Yeah, a pile of clutter. Has clutter taken over your life that you don't even know what your talents are anymore? Let's get rid of that clutter. Let's bring it back home to finding who you are and who you're supposed to be for the Lord. Because we've all got that purpose. We've all got it. We just have to open up our hearts, open up our door, and let the clutter flow out. And you are going to find your purpose for living. Every single day, you're going to find that purpose. And one time we did a survey. 4 out of 5 people who were surveyed, which was over 20,000, I remember. And it's not a real survey. It was an internet survey, and, how do you judge one of those? But 4 out of 5 of these women had been abused. Whether as a child, as a teenager, as a young adult, 4 out of 5 had been abused. But guess what, folks? That abuse was yesterday. It's gone. We can take that abuse and we can grow from it. We can grow from it. We can show others that it's not going to get us down, because we now have the ability to control our own feelings because we've gotten rid of our clutter. I got the most amazing testimonial this morning, and I'll have to send it out later. But this lady had been depressed for the last 25 years of her life, and she was 40. She'd been depressed for 25 years. And she had tried Fly Lady once before, but it didn't stick. Didn't sink in, because she didn't shine or sink, I guess. But she said the pandemic hit, and it didn't pay for her to try to go to work. So when her last daughter was born 8 years ago, she decided that it wasn't worth her going to work, because it was whatever it cost for daycare and driving. It was just a wash. She was working for nothing. So she decided to stay home, and she found Fly Lady, and then it kind of fell by the wayside. And then during the pandemic, she got it found us again. At which point, she started doing what I said, putting her shoes on, getting dressed every morning, without stopping, not dragging around, just get dressed. And before she knew it, her clutter was going away. She'd moved 7 times in 8 years, y'all. And the clutter just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And so she finally started walking it out the door to the car, And she was beginning to feel the peace that I have every single day. She was beginning to find that peace. And that peace was, she said, was the first time she hasn't been depressed in 25 years. Having to move that much would be rough. Yeah, it would be. So folks, you can gain control of your life. Getting rid of your clutter, getting dressed to lace up shoes every morning, making your bed, swishing and swiping your bathroom, running your dishwasher or washing your dishes, putting in a load of laundry, and what's for dinner. You do those few things, and your home is going to start to run on automatic pilot. It's just these gears working. One thing after another. You can do this. You can do it with a happy heart. You can let go of the sadness of a past. You can. So drink up, y'all. This morning, I took my ornament down, but the bird still came. So he's not seeing the ornament. So drink up. Thank you for sharing our videos. You help others when you do this. I'll see you in the morning. Tomorrow's question and answer day, y'all. It's Thursday. So Liz, put your questions, send them to flylady@flylady.net or post them on Facebook, and Liz will get them to me tonight, and I'll print them out, and I'll have a stack of papers, and we'll answer questions for an hour tomorrow. It's always fun. I love you all. I will see you at 11 o'clock in the morning to answer your questions. Y'all have a great rest of the evening. Catch you later.